Most of the churches believe that it first began raining on the earth when Noah's flood took place. But I would like to share with you that Jesus revealed to me through the scriptures that it first rained when God cursed the earth. We can begin to see this in Genesis 2, 1 through 6, when it states that the seeds for the plants of the field, which is our corn and our maize, and the shrubs of the field, which are the thorns and the thistles, were in the ground when God first created the heavens and the earth. But they did not sprout because it had not yet rained, and there was no one to cultivate the ground. Genesis 2, 1 through 6 says, Thus the heavens and the earth were completed, and all their hosts. And by the seventh day God completed his work which he had done. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made earth and heaven. Now no shrub of the field was yet in the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprouted, for the Lord God had not sent rain upon the earth, and there was no man to cultivate the ground. But a mist used to rise from the earth and water the whole surface of the ground. As you can see from these scriptures, that the seeds for the plants of the field and the shrubs of the field were created and were in the earth, but had not yet sprouted because God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no one to cultivate the ground. Now you will see in Genesis 3, 17 through 19, that it was after the first man sinned, that because he listened to his wife, and he ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that God cursed the earth. And this is when the shrubs of the field and the plants of the field began growing. And because Genesis 2:5 states that they required rain in order to grow, that it was when God cursed the earth that it began raining on the earth. You will also see that when God told Adam that in toil he would eat from the ground, that he was telling him that he would begin cultivating the ground, and that this fulfilled the requirement stated in Genesis 2:5, that there had to be someone to cultivate the ground in order for the plants and the shrubs of the field to begin growing. Genesis 3, 17 through 19 states, Then to Adam he said, Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree about which I commanded you, saying, You shall not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Both thorns and thistles it shall grow for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, because from it you are taken. For you are dust, and to dust you shall return. As you can see from these scriptures, that it was when God cursed the earth that the plants and the shrubs of the field began to grow, and because Genesis 2:5 stated that they required rain in order to grow, that it was when God cursed the earth that it began to rain. You can also see that when God said, In toil you shall eat of the ground, that he was telling the man that he would begin cultivating the ground, which fulfilled that there had to be someone to cultivate the ground in order for the plants and the shrubs of the field to begin growing. Now I have heard a number of unbelievers claim that there can't be a God, because if there was, he would not have created the hurricanes and the tornadoes. The answer to this claim is that God did not create the hurricanes and the tornadoes, but rather they began to occur because man sinned and God cursed the earth, which then caused it to begin to rain. And the natural processes that cause it to rain are the same natural processes that cause the hurricanes and the tornadoes. Now, if man had not sinned, there would be no hurricanes or tornadoes. Now, when a child does something wrong, it is natural for the parents to discipline that child. And I believe that God cursed the earth to give the first man and woman and us a constant reminder of what took place in the garden, and that he did this so that we would believe in his salvation plan that he first explained to the man and the woman in Genesis 3:15, when he said to the serpent that he would put enmity between the woman's seed and the serpent's seed, which, according to Ephesians 2:15, was the law of Moses contained in ordinances. And then he explained that after that he would bruise the serpent on the head and destroy him, which took place when Jesus died and raised up from Hades and the grave for us. He also explained that Satan would bruise Jesus on the heel, which means that not all will believe and be saved from dying the second death in the lake of fire at the judgment that takes place at the end of the age. Genesis 3:15 states, "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise you on the head, and you shall bruise him on the heel." Now, so that you can see through the scriptures that the enmity was the law of Moses contained in ordinances, Ephesians 2:15 states, "By abolishing in his flesh the enmity, which is the law of commandments contained in ordinances, so that in himself he might make the two in the one new man, thus establishing peace." As you can see from these scriptures, that it began to rain when the first man sinned and God cursed the earth, and that it did not begin raining when Noah's flood took place, which is being taught in almost all of the churches today.